Imagine you wake up one day and you're living in your parents' house. In fact, you never left, and now you're 29 and can't afford to move out. Understandable in today's housing crisis. I feel like there's a stigma around living at home with your parents in your 20s and your 30s, etc., in which society tells us that we should have moved out by now, like we should have been long gone, we should be thriving on our own. And if you haven't, then you're a failure. But does it actually mean that, or is that just a load of bollocks? I think the latter. It's literally just an opinion. And is it really a failure, or is it a starting point? If you know, you know. I feel like I just malfunctioned as a human. How you frame the situation in your mind is what matters. Who cares what other people say and think? The only thing that matters is your perception of yourself. Shame comes from expectations and comparison. You are comparing your life to someone else's circumstances, values, intentions, and skills. And that is always completely different to your own. No one has the exact same circumstances, I don't think. Their life is totally different to the vision that you hold for yourself. Billy Bob Joe over there might be a corporate accountant with a really decent salary and he is thriving off of that money, but to me, I can't think of anything worse than being a corporate accountant. It might be something to do with the fact that I can't do maths to save my life, or it could be something to do with the values and, you know, capitalism. Capitalism can jog on. Basically, here's the thing, it's about to get very sunny, but that's not what I was gonna say. But here's the thing, you need to define what success means to you. I feel like the automatic response for a lot of people is success is having a shit ton of money, it's getting a big promotion, it's achieving an academic or professional goals. Success to a lot of people is extrinsic, meaning it's externally. That's what that means by doing this gesture. It's external. But the truth is, success is subjective, so you have to define what it means to you. So yes, Billy Bob Joe might see success as, you know, financially shit ton of money kind of thing. That was good England. And that's totally fine if that's what works for him. But for me, success is about creating a fulfilling life. It's about being content in life, having healthy relationships and friendships. What else? What else does success mean to me? I should have thought about this before I started recording. Like having freedom, being able to have the freedom to do what I want, when I want, go where I want. You know, I want to live, I don't want to survive. Yes, please, get in my basket. Continually learning from my mistakes and growing from that. That is what success means to me. And not how much money I have or whether I still live at home. So success to me is an intrinsic thing, meaning that is connected to my core beliefs and values. And I still do kind of believe that, you know, having a certain amount of money is successful. So that is kind of part of my success definition. But the money isn't the be all and end all of success for me, is what I'm trying to get at here. Like there's personal growth, there's self-development, self-empowerment, creating a fulfilling life, all of that stuff I've already said. Now I'm just repeating myself and everyone's like, hey, move on, we don't want to hear this. Okay. I feel like I'm a little bit hyped. I don't know whether it's because I ate blueberries. As some of you will know, my vision is to build businesses around things that I am passionate about doing. So like my Etsy shop, for example, this YouTube channel, you know we love a metaphor on this channel, okay? Billy Bob Joe over here, who has the job at the company, he has jumped onto this boat. Maybe it's a ship that is like fully operational. It's got a full crew, it's got big engines, it's got momentum, maybe it's even got like a 5-star kitchen. Who knows? Like everything is already going. It is gliding through the ocean with ease. That ship is the company that most of us jump onto at some point in our lives. But for someone like me, I've got to build my own boat. I've got to learn how to make an engine from scratch. I've got to learn how to put all the pieces of wood together and screw in the nails, and I don't know what this is. But I've got to like test the boat for leaks so it doesn't sink. I've got to get the bare basics of the boat before it could even leave the shore. That's going to take a long freaking time. But once I do get it in the water, I then have the freedom to navigate it wherever I want to go. And yeah, I might capsize. I might start to drown because of engine failures, or it doesn't float like I thought it would, or there's leaks and holes in the bits that I clearly did not screw in properly, because what is this? But that just means that I swim back to shore. And I learn how to build a better boat, a bigger boat, a stronger boat, to get out there and try again. And I might have to take that boat out several times before it does even think about starting to stay afloat. But that is true for any business, I believe, when you first start. Most people jump onto a fully functioning boat, into a job, into a company that is already running successfully. It can survive the big storms and the big waves. And you might not be on either boat. You might not be on this big, massive corporate ship, and you might not be on this like small little rowing boat that I'm in at the moment. You might be on a smaller boat, maybe that doesn't pay well. There is long hours that you dread going to. And so living at home gives you the opportunity to look for other boats, because there's plenty of boats out there. It's just whether you want to stay on the shore and get your old hammer and your screws out and build your own boat, or whether you go and look for another boat to jump on. What I am trying to say here is that everyone has their own timelines, and I think that's really important when it comes to things like living at home with your parents. Because sure, yeah, we can look around us and say, oh, everyone has their own place, has their own freedom, has their own independence, and it might feel like we are falling behind, but we're not. You're not falling behind. I'm not falling behind. Why? Because we all have our own timelines. You can't fall behind on your own timeline. Like, it's impossible, because it's your own timeline. I feel like I'm very passionate and I'm waving my arms around a lot. I'm going to be doing like 70,000 steps on this Fitbit today, aren't I? Yes, we are. And maybe you're living back home because maybe you're looking for somewhere else to live in the meantime. Maybe you've just gotten out of a really bad breakup and now you're back at home. Maybe you have an illness and you need someone to look after you. Like, there are so many options. There are so many different reasons as to why we are living at home. Maybe you're building your own business just because the majority of society have moved out when they were like 21 or something, I don't know. And you're feeling really stuck and really lost and really behind. It does not mean that, because we all have our own timelines. Because we are all coming from different places. And I wanted to talk about this because I know that if I saw someone else out there talking about living at home with their parents at the age of 29, it would help me to feel less alone. Like, I'm not the odd one out. Oh, I'm not a failure. It's not shameful. It's okay. It is valid. And so I'm hoping that this will help someone out there feel a little less alone if you are also going through this at the moment. And sometimes I need reminding, because I do struggle with the shame quite a lot. So this video is a nice little helpful reminder to us both. Oosh, oosh, oosh. No. We'll try that. New angle. How do we like it? What do we think? We're just gonna have to go with that. If something looks like it's like growing out of my head, it's just the treadmill. It's just there. Sometimes life doesn't go the way we plan or expect it to. For example, I expected my plan to go this way. And I feel like my life saw my plan, saw my expectation, was like, nah, we're going this way. We're gonna go the opposite way. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's literally like me giving directions to someone. I'm like, turn right in 300 yards. And I actually mean turn left in 2 kilometers. Like, bitch, who gave you the directions? Who asked you to read the map? Please tell me I'm not the only one at 29 who still doesn't know their left from their rights and has to do this every time. Left. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. Still. So now I should have taken that right hand turn like 300 kilometers back, and instead I took a left hand turn. Now I'm not where I want to be in life, and I'm living at home with my parents at the age of 29. And like, I don't want to be here at 30, because as Bon Jovi would say, shot through the heart and you're to blame. I always thought the lyrics for that was shot through the heart and you're too late, but it's not. It's blame. For anyone else out there who was also curious about the lyrics for that song, now you know.
Darling, you gave love a bad name,
It's gonna be in my head for the rest of eternity. Fun. And here's the thing, I went from that whirlpool of shame that I was still living at home with my parents in my late 20s, now 29, to reframing the whole situation with gratitude. And I know that kind of sounds a bit floozy, doesn't it? But it really helped to ease that shame that I was feeling by reframing it with gratitude. And so I started to say, you know what? I'm grateful for still living at home. I'm grateful for having loving and supporting and understanding parents. Like, I'm grateful that they put up with me. They deserve a fucking medal. And I am grateful that I have somewhere to stay, that I am not living out there on the streets. That is something that I think we all kind of just take for granted, is just having somewhere to stay, whether you're living at home with your parents or not. And I'm grateful for their company, because sometimes living on your own can get lonely, and it also provides a sense of security and safety as well. Being in the house by yourself and you hear all these noises, like, maybe we don't go there because that is my current situation. When I say parents, I'm talking about my parents, but I understand that some people don't have both of their parents, might be divorced or whatever. Like you might not have your biological parents, but like a guardian or a carer, or like your grandparents, it might even be that. I don't know, like there's so many different options out there. When I say parents, I'm just referring specifically to my situation. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to be inclusive, okay? I'm trying to include everyone in this. I am sometimes grateful for their opinions. Not all the time, but sometimes. But most of all, like, I am so grateful that I have been given the opportunity to spend more time with them now, because they aren't gonna be here forever. We're all gonna die. Death is inevitable. Well, this took a turn. That's gonna sound really cheesy, but I really do try to find the little moments of joy, you know, like the little silly funny things that they do, or even just like having dinner together, discussing our days, discussing world issues, or helping them to share a post on Facebook. We've all been there. We all know how that goes. I'm trying to savor all of the moments that I have left with them, being present with them. And here's the thing, like most people, when they move out, they don't see their parents as much as they would like to, right? It all kind of dissipates, disintegrates, dissolves. One of those words is correct. Disperses. Maybe it's disperse. Maybe it is. When people move out, they don't see their parents as much as they would like, and that kind of disperses when people move out. That is what I'm trying to say with that. So being able to have the opportunity to spend this time with them now, this quality time, is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. They aren't always gonna be here, and when you put things into perspective like that, it makes me feel less bad about still living at home with them. I think it just makes this big shift in your mindset when you go from, oh my god, I'm so ashamed, I'm still living at home, like it's so embarrassing, you're 29, you still haven't moved out. Compare that to, I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to spend more time with my parents, to spend quality time with them, to also on the side be building up a business, building up businesses. Like that shift from that to that is just huge. I feel like so many times, especially in situations like this, when you feel a lot of shame, we always tend to focus on the negative things. I've spoken about it before, but negativity bias is something that is ingrained in us. It's like two edges of the seesaw, right? You could be sitting over here on the negative bias and being like, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. Or you could be like, actually, you know what? I'm really grateful to be in this situation right now. And I'm just like, what the hell? Really kind of transforms your behavior going forward. I know I just personally feel really grateful to be around supportive, loving parents, and I know that is a privilege because not all parents are like that. Some people have abusive or horrible parents or living in horrible dynamics, and I am so goddamn privileged to have supporting and understanding parents. Like, they let me set up my own businesses. They let me explore my creative endeavors and try and figure out what the hell am I doing with this life. And I really deeply appreciate that because some parents, they wouldn't stand for that. So I do really recognize how lucky and privileged I am to have supportive parents and parents who are still together as well. Unfortunately, I feel like that is kind of rare nowadays. Quick fire round. Here are some great things about living with your parents in your 20s. This is by no means an extensive list, nor is it conclusive. This is just what I have plucked up from my brain. So if you can think of any others, because I'm sure I've missed some, drop them in the comments below. We're just gonna rapid fire through these, okay? Okay. Let's do it. You can save money. You can work on your side hustles or creative endeavors. You can build your own business. Cha-ching! Why did I do the sound effects? I don't know. You can share house chores like emptying the dishwasher, doing the laundry, cooking the dinner, that kind of thing. When you're doing that on your own, it's just like a lot to do for one person. You get to spend quality time with them. By doing so, you can create meaningful connections, you can create inside jokes, like we love a bit of that. You can repair the relationship if it was not good beforehand. You can get emotional support if you're sad or upset or happy or not. I realize this is not a quick fire round because I'm just like saying stuff after every single thing. Feel less lonely, you feel safer, can testify for that one. When you're unwell, physical support. Like, there is nothing worse than being unwell and being ill and having to do all of the house chores, having to look after yourself and the house. Like, sometimes you just need someone to look after you, and parents are great, or should be great at doing that. Why am I still talking after every single one? Like, this is a rapid fire round game. Someone to share updates with, life updates. You can share a glass of wine, a glass of gin. You can share a glass of Prosecco that you got for your 29th birthday and then your mum put in a raffle, so maybe you can't share a bottle of Prosecco because it's gone in the raffle and now someone else has your birthday Prosecco. True story. It's actually very funny. I'm not mad at her at all. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. Living home with your parents, it's fun. Oh God, I love her. Probably the absolute best thing, you get to borrow their clothes without them knowing so that you can make a skit.
Has anyone seen my glasses?
I'm joking. The ultimate thing is they get rid of spiders, and daddy long legs is, so. What's the plural for daddy long legs? Daddy long legs is daddy long legs is? Or is it just daddy long legs? I'm gonna go with legs is, or just legs, like sheep. Sheeps. Daddy long legs is? My phone just buzzed. Does someone love me? Oh my God, it's my mum. That's literally the end of my list. I don't have anything else to say. So if you do have other stuff, then drop it in the comments below. Cool. I know that talking about parents can be quite triggering to some people, so that obviously was not my intention with this. Like, I'm just trying to help people who are in my situation as well by reframing it to be like, hey, this ain't so bad. Now I'm thinking like, oh, well, a lot of people are living with their parents and it's a really shit environment. That's not good for their mental health. And there's me saying, oh, be grateful for it. It doesn't work in that dynamic. So I'm very aware that it only kind of works if you got decent parents. So yeah, I'm very aware that I am very lucky. Do I want to be living with them for the rest of my life? No, of course not. I do want my freedom and my independence, and I cannot wait for that. And that will happen as my timeline goes on. But in the meantime, I am nothing but grateful for them. And I'm just really cherishing. What? Cherishing. That doesn't sound right. Cherishing. It sounds like I'm Sean Connery right now and Sandstone. Cherishing. That does not sound right, but I'm gonna stick with it. See if anyone else notices. Cherishing. What was I saying? Basically just trying to say that I'm cherishing all of those moments that we have together. So if you're living at home for whatever reason and you're feeling ashamed that you still haven't moved out yet, you're not on your own. But also, it is okay to feel that way as long as you can recognize and reframe the situation into something positive. If you can, like, that's a massive caveat in there, right? If you can, like I said, if it's a horrible dynamic and maybe like, oh, just turning into something positive, it's probably not the best thing to do. So just kind of take and pick what works in your situation. If you're in like a similar situation to me where, you know, maybe you're living with one parent and you do get on with them and they are nice and, you know, sometimes they're a bit annoying and they kind of get on your nerves a bit. That's what parents do. Then just try reframing the situation to a positive one rather than feeling ashamed and embarrassed that you're still living at home. If it is appropriate, then that is your challenge. And take out a piece of pen, paper, get your notes app on your phone and just write down why you feel ashamed and then how you can challenge those thoughts, how you can reframe it into something positive, into gratitude. Give it a go. It might help. You never know. Or it might not. This video might have just been a whole waste of time, except to me. I don't know. You'll just have to let me know. So like, how can you challenge those thoughts? How can you move along in your timeline to get to a position where you can move out? Like, what are the next steps? And it might be saving up a bunch of money. It might be getting a different job that pays more or another job. It might be expanding your business that you are starting or have started. Like, whatever it is, just try and focus on the next step until you can get to a point where you're like, hey, I'm gonna move out. To be fair, like, kudos to anyone who does move out in this time because of the cost of living crisis and the cost of interest rates and house prices and stuff. That is also another good thing. Interest rates when you're living at home, when you have savings, there's some cracking interest rates out there at the moment. And if you have money to put into it, even better. I believe in you, okay? And I'm proud of you. And hopefully one day we can look back at this time and be grateful for the moments we spent living at home with our parents. And if you're sitting there and you are struggling with loneliness and having no friends, then you're gonna wanna watch this video right here in which I talk about all of my struggles that I deal with chronic loneliness. So that's fun to say out loud again. And of course, I will see you in the next one.